And we'll start now. Okay. So once again, thank you very much for being here. This is the BrightID AMA. We are here with Philip, Adam, a lot of the people from the team. We have some Brighty stars, Daniel, Shaheen, Ashraf, and he's our brightest Brighty star. And Pazlar, I think he left. He's a little bit sick today. So yeah, what we do in this AMS is just discuss different topics, and for this week we don't have any specific one. But yeah, we there's several things that has happened in the last week, and we might hear a couple of different perspectives from the people here in Brady. And yeah, if you have any question, please share it with us. So for starters, there's something that I read today that I would love to discuss, and it's about specifically DAOs. So, like today, Aave announced that they're going to enable their platform for the governance that they're using, because they're trying to achieve multi-chain. So that's like one step ahead to governance and to DAOs. Okay, so I know that's a topic that it's probably about to go big. So about that, how BrightID can empower this type of DAOs and, well, in general DAOs, well, to make things a little bit fair. So I don't know who wants to take that question.
I'll jump in quick and just say that, right, dads are going to always be better off if you could know how many unique humans are involved. Maybe you don't want to do it in every situation, but like there's so many advantages to knowing. Even if you want to give more weight to some people than others, knowing how many humans, it just gives you so much more flexibility, so much more accuracy, so much better understanding what's going on.
Awesome. So yeah, Adam, anything to budge in? Oh, sorry. Do you want to say something about it? I'm sorry. I use it again. So yeah, I think Adam is busy now. So any other questions related with that? Just move. I have another topic that I really want to discuss, and probably it's not too really related with Brady, but yeah, like we have seen the explosion of NFTs this week. Well, this past 2 weeks. Sorry, this past 2 weeks, and well, at the beginning of the call, well, this is not it was saved. We were talking a little bit about this project called Moonshots, and how they just want to, well, use this momentum to fund public goods, especially, well, that's project from Owoki and Austin Griffith, and all donations go are going to Gitcoin. Okay, so in the same regard, like I think with Bright ID, we could have seen a really or a little bit more interesting dynamic, because we could have seen or gotten just one piece for one person. So it will be a unique piece. It will be super interesting. So like right now, I know Philip, it's well, we are, especially with the both of us, really involved in the NFT space, and we see the power that Pride can bring uh, for make things fair, with all the drops that are happening in our blogs and all these platforms. So I want to go dive a little bit into it again, and that's I hopefully what I want to be the topic of the CMA. So how can Brady can empower to make these things fairer, and yeah, just I don't know, to try to share this with more people. So I know you're pretty into this, so I hope you go further, Philip, and just
I mean, I completely agree that NFTs are absolutely exploding, and wow, that we'll have ugly bear markets at points. Like the ideas that are happening in the NFT space are going to take over the world. Mimic desire is such a strong drug that the world is just going to become addicted to it, as it already is. But now we can do it digitally. It's going to be nuts. There's so much surface area for scam, for unfairness. And with a system like BrightID, you can just design cooler structures that are fair, that are more equitable. So this stuff's going to take over the world. Let's get fair and equitable ideas in at the foundational level so that lots of projects choose to use that building block.
Awesome. So in that regard, I want to jump in as well. It having my fair share of different platforms and trying to get some different NFTs, like and especially what something that is doing or like right now what Rabbit Hole is doing, and you can see the power that BrightID can bring. Actually, well, Rabbit Hole is giving even NFTs. So, like if you have a BrightID account and you're using Rabbit Hole for different stuff, you're getting the reward and also you're getting the NFTs. And we have seen some of the distributions, and well, we have Jorin here, I think. Like I will love. I don't know if well, he has a microphone off. I don't know if he wants to talk. But yeah, there's something that happened. Okay, he's on. Can you share with us the experience that Rabbit Hole got with the NFTs and don't turn it on per ID for one of the drops?
Yeah. Um, so so for those that don't know, Rabbit Hole is like it's an incentivized learning platform where we send you on quests and journeys to complete tasks, meaning you interact with different protocols. And then there's normally a token reward, but there's also an NFT reward that represents you completing that task. And the whole kind of long-term vision is that using on-chain data, you can use this as like your on-chain resume, your Web3 resume for the future to show that you have certain skills and abilities within the Web3 space. So there was a bug with one of our previous tasks where it wasn't actually making sure that you were BrightID verified, and we saw the rewards just starting to get like taken up really quickly, and that's not really uncommon. Like every quest that we've put out has gotten snatched up faster and faster, and we've had to continually increase the number of possible rewards. But this one was going like super fast, and then we investigated. We're like, okay, there's this bug, so we passed it really quick. But it just goes to show that like when you don't have that form of civil resistance, like the bots are just waiting right at the floodgates. Whenever it's possible, they will kind of swoop in and abuse any kind of system where there is a chance for financial gain or even speculation. And so so we put it on a, like, we're making sure to double check now every time that we start the project that we have BrightID enabled. And right now we just unleashed a new feature to the Rabbit Hole experience called Journeys, where normally our quests range, or our quests are limited to a specific protocol on a specific network, whether it be mainnet or Polygon or XDAI. But this one is across different protocols, and we called it the Crypto Native Starter Pack. So it's one quest or one task for 3 different protocols, and together they make up this starter pack. And this is the first experience that we have where there's no token reward, and there is only an NFT reward. So it's a bit of an experiment to see like how people are valuing these NFTs, and if the rewards are going to get scooped up as quickly as other tasks. And it's also one of the longest campaigns that we're running. So normally campaigns run roughly a week, and this one's going to be running up to 30 days if not all of the rewards get taken up in that time. So that's running now. If anybody wants to go check those out, You need to be for this one. You don't need to be BrightID verified. So it's also an experiment in that to see if that impacts things. But yeah, is there anything else specific you wanted to ask about that?
Yeah, no, like I think when you well when you give an economic incentive, well, as soon as the incentive is higher, there's more potential for being exploited. So if that NFT right now were like, I don't know, something from Jeff Davis or the Dimitri or something like that, some of these bigger NFT artists, it'll be exploited right away. So so in that regard, I'll say that that's something pretty interesting for Rabbit Hole to explore as well. Like, why don't give up like not just NFTs but art and auto-generated art? There's a tons of new artists, and it will be pretty interesting collaboration. Like that's something that we have probably spoken a couple of times in these calls, like having like this potential to not just well a simple NFT is interesting, um, and we know that you have looking for artists, but yeah, that's something that probably will be good to just yeah uh, jumping into a call of rabbit hole and probably just yeah just let them know that's something that would be super interesting. Well, that's what I think.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I think it's super interesting how NFTs have been valued so far. Like we have, like you said, a lot of known artists that have gotten a name for themselves, and just it's kind of like the Basquiat, the Picassos. Their art is just worth more because of their name, kind of thing. And we've seen like the NFTs that we put out. Some of them do get resold on OpenSea and stuff like that. Um, but it's interesting because like in all of our past quests, like I said, there was a token reward. So if you're trying to quantify the experience that you're putting into completing the quest, like there's going to be gas fees involved. There's some of your time involved. Sometimes you need to lock up some funds to interact with the protocol, so there might be an opportunity cost there. So all of these kind of come into play when you're considering the reward for the quest, and we always try and make sure that those costs are more or less covered by the token reward, and then like the NFT plus a little bit more, and then the NFT is kind of just a commemorative piece to that. But even still, with even that being the case, we've seen the NFTs take on some value in the secondary market. And so I wonder how much of that experience cost, like the things I mentioned, the transaction fee, the opportunity cost, all of that, how much of that transfers over to the value of the NFT that you get for performing this task. And this is a particularly interesting experiment because some of so the tasks that we have now for the NFT only quest or journey rather, they do have some cost to it. So if you completed them before, then you kind of just go and claim your task and you'll get the NFT. But if you're doing it for the first time, you're still incurring these costs. So I wonder, I'm curious how much of that value is going to transfer to the NFT itself, and if we'll see an increased value for these NFTs because there's no token reward. I don't know. I think that's just a part of the experiment and something that I'm looking out for to see when kind of some data comes back from that.
Like in that note, specifically with NFTs, like the first reward, like OpenSea has a well had when the NFTs hadn't exploded, had a campaign with Rabbit Hole. Not so many people join into that. It's only 50 copies of that NFT, and it's actually quite expensive now. You had to buy one NFT and sell one NFT, so it was a little bit hard to do actually. Uh, I don't know, like probably the values, like I haven't seen many like real NFTs like created by OpenSea for OpenSea. So it's quite interesting how that is going to accrue value to the people that are using it. And the good thing is like they use BrightID, so there's 50 people that actually got them. And actually went into looking into it lately with you were talking about the value of that, and there's people that didn't claim it because when that happened, well, the fees on Ethereum were super high. So what Rabbit Hole did before is just put the NFT. I input the addresses, and if you want the NFT, you need to go and claim it and pay the gas fee so you can get it. So it was quite expensive to just claim it, but still, yeah, there's value probably in the uniqueness and probably in the fairness as well. So I think yeah, it's pretty good experiment, and like, yeah, that's something that I really like about Rabbit Hole. So
So
I don't know
Mono,
if, yeah,
does that make that the first BrightID issued NFT?
yeah, that will
Like from
make,
a
and
historical perspective, like if it goes on to become a thing that BrightID gets used by lots of projects for that, then that one's historical because it was the first to do that. It was one of the first things that OpenSea issued. Certainly the
yeah,
first thing that OpenSea issued that way. It's kind of
because
interesting.
like I really well, that's something I will love Jorin. I don't know if Jorin was there in Rabbit Hole, but I don't know if that was a quest that that OpenSea's commissioned to Rabbit Hole, or if it just Rabbit Hole just did it themselves. But from the perspective of from what I see of the NFT, looks like it's a, well, joint thing. So yeah, it will be the first issued NFT powered by Rabbit Hole and OpenSea and BrightID.
Something really important that maybe you're letting left there is that not only the value that an NFT has, but the utility that an NFT has to the system. So it's worth to think about ways of use the utilities in the NFTs for the bright future. I mean, it's something that I think is worth to thinking. Is worth it to think about it.
Yeah, cool. So it seems like there's not, okay. So I've seen a lot of people. I got a couple of DMs, people asking for POAPs.
Yeah,
Um,
NFTs.
yeah, NFT. So we stopped a little bit with the yeah, we stopped with the POAPs. It was getting a little bit harder to distribute them, and we're going to try to create a new way to distribute it later down the road. So yeah, we're not having POAPs for the time being. We promise we'll bring them back. Uh, but today we don't have, and probably not the next week either. But we're working on a way to distribute in, well, using BrightID as well. So and not being a manual thing that I used to do in all the meetings. So yeah, I don't know if anyone else has any other questions or want to discuss something about Bright ID. We are seeing new faces around, and well, I don't know, this last day there's too much things being built and too much expectations with the crypto space in general, that I don't know, it feels like things are about to blown up. So yeah, anyone else has something interesting to in their minds? Any further questions
Well,
that you
I
want
think
to?
that so something that's not been on my mind is that we have Sergey asked a question, but I have something else on my mind. So about the POAPs, um, we've been talking about using POAPs for different like historical events that happen in BrightID, and just like kind of like you can say you were there type of thing. And we realized that it would be really useful for to have like a Discord POAP bot, which they already have, but to have one that instead of like if you know the password and you're within a certain time range, you can go get it. Instead, to have people on a whitelist, because there's another Discord bot that will take a snapshot of like who was in a certain room during a certain time period, and then if you could add those to a whitelist, then you could use BrightID to check the status of everyone on that whitelist, and then you could allow people to come in and get their POAP if they were on the whitelist only. So I think that's a better method than the current Discord POAP bot. So hopefully we can make that happen. Hopefully we can make a better, I know that there's people working on like making a better POAP bot for Discord that's using BrightID. So I think that's going to be really interesting when that comes out.
I really love that idea. Yeah, that will be a use case, especially for Discord, and I think for the yeah, like having that will be awesome. Like that's something that probably I would love to see, and I think the people from uh, POAP as well. uh,
Yeah,
Something
so
that
Matthias is asking what's POAP and what it is. So we had, if you go back and look on YouTube, you can see that one of our AMAs, we had the founder of POAP here, and he was telling us all about it, but um, just very, very succinctly what it is a proof of attendance. So proof that you were there. Like you get an NFT that was signed by the event organizer or authorized by the event organizer that says, yes, you were here at this event. And it's kind of cool because now you have cryptographic proof that you were there, that you can say you participated in an event. And if you look at like I think we want to do this for our BrightID history. Like you can show that you were there. It's different historical moments. Like maybe we take a snapshot of the graph once it hits 100,000 users. We say, okay, were you like an early BrightID user, something like that, or other just historical things that we do. And I know OneHive is doing the same thing. They have a swarm in OneHive called the Cannon Swarm, and they want to just basically take snapshots and issue NFTs for historical events that happen in the OneHive timeline. So, imagine if like Bitcoin and Ethereum had done that. Obviously, you can kind of sort of create your own proof. You can say like, yeah, look, I own this Bitcoin address that like got Bitcoin back in 2012 or something like that, and you can prove that you're like an early Bitcoin user. But this is just like a cooler way. Plus they have you can get cool images that go with them. So you can get like a designer to create a really interesting design for your event, and then people who get the POAP get that design. So anyways, that's what they are. They're really fun. I like them. Are they worth a lot? Not yet. We were talking about this on a different call. Like how much are they actually worth compared to, because some NFTs are worth tons and tons of money, but like we think that if you prove that you were at some like really exclusive, awesome event in the early days of something or other, it's still going to be worth like less than $100. It's just like there's just not like it's not that valuable, but it has your own personal value. It's got like, you have you can go look. It's like looking back in your you look back in your awards case saying, oh yeah, I did this and I did that and I was there and I was here. So it's more of like a personal, just like feel good type of thing to look at, I think.
on on that specific topic, like I'd say that there's a couple of pubs that are going to be worth a lot of money. Like if you ask me, I would love to have one from the first Ethereum stakers. There's only 1,000 of them. So yeah, that probably, like right now it will be super hard to get one of them because the people that did it at the beginning usually don't care about the money. So but I would love to get one of those. Like for me, that's history and the making. It probably down the road 10, 20 years, it will be something that will be super cherished for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Uh,
And actually, I just thought of something. Here's where they are worth money. So like an airdrop could say, like, let's say a new token is giving a community airdrop and they want some sort of proof that you're either in a member of that community or a member of a related community and that you've been engaged in the past. Like they could look and say, oh, look, you got some POAPs from coming to our AMA call. Okay, great. We're gonna airdrop you some of our community tokens because we see that you were engaging in the past. So I think that in that way, like maybe the POAP itself, yeah, I mean, it's like maybe someone would buy it, to me, that's almost like dishonest to like sell a POAP to someone because you think that they're gonna like, it's like got a community reward. Because like if you're the member of the community, you should be collecting. You should want to keep it yourself, I think. But I think it's a good way that you actually can earn some money from your POAPs. So I think it is possible, but not maybe not by trading them, but just by having them.
Yeah. Cool. So there's a question here, and that's well a really broad question. So
Well, there's
yeah.
another one, which is there
Oh
a POAP today? And the
no.
answer we've already answered that one. And no, no POAP today, no POAP next week. But stay tuned because we've kind of hinted at it in this call that we want to have POAPs for special events. So just be, be looking out for some special events where you can collect a POAP. So, if you're paying attention to the Discord, you'll catch it. So go ahead, Carlos, you were going to talk about a different question.
Yeah, that's actually a super broad question for you guys is where do you see BrightID in 1 year? Like, yep, a hard question.
In a year, I
Yeah.
see it at 300,000 users, verified users. And so still like, much bigger than now, but still like small, nowhere near our like end goal. And better verifications, like a new system that allows people to get better verifications and some experimentation with giving out higher valued things. Because right now our values are like pretty small. You can get like a $5 giveaway or something like that. You can collect multiple of them actually. So if you add them all up, maybe, your BrightID is probably worth $100. So, it's definitely not worth nothing. So, but like a year from now, your BrightID is just going to be worth more and more. Like maybe a year from now, it's worth $1,000 to have a BrightID. So that's kind of, that's where I see it going. Like 10 times as many users and 10 times as much value for your BrightID.
I'm gonna leave video in just a second, but I'll just say everything Adam said makes sense, except that other things that want to grow a lot faster than that want to use BrightID. So Rabbit Hole will not be happy if it only has 300,000 users a year from now. So we're going to have to scale along with our partners that bring excited people to the ecosystem.
Awesome.
Yeah, I think Phil proves a good point. Like it, and I think the saying is you underestimate what you can do or you overestimate what you can do in a short period of time and underestimate what you can do in a long period of time. And I think as the flywheel begins to pick up speed, that is to say, more projects start using BrightID. We get more community members involved, and we start building bigger and greater things on top of BrightID. The network effects start to take effect, and we'll see like a lot quicker growth. So I'd hope to see more than 300,000 in a year, and anyone's guess is as accurate, I guess.
Awesome. Well, I think that BrightID having about 20,000 people verified right now, it's a pretty good metric for the moment, and mm, it's really getting super widespread in the last couple of months. Thank you to a lot of different applications, and well, that's us. Somebody else is there. Okay, so just moving for the next question. Will BrightID release a token? That's a question from Pony 100. So right now, BrightID has a token called subs. It's like a bundle SP token, and every single user needs to get okay. So the application need to sponsor every user, and it will uses this token called SP. So that's a token created a couple of, I think, years ago. Okay, I think I'm going to let Adam explain it better. So
Sure,
yeah.
yeah. We have a token that's a utility token, which is like your key to using the BrightID network if you're an application. And like Carlos said, everyone uses it. You just probably don't know it. So when you see that you got sponsored, someone burned a token on your behalf. And it's right now it's the apps, and it probably will continue to be the apps. Although some apps are creating like self, I guess, self sponsoring portals, sort of. So I think you'll see one of those. I think one's being created on Arbitrum soon, so you'll be able to sponsor yourself. But anyways, that those are the sponsorship tokens, and that's how we fund BrightID as a public good. That's how it can become sustainable. You know, when there's 10 billion users, that's how it has the enough income every year to support all of that and to keep, keep building the software and doing the research and all that stuff. That's how all that gets funded, and how all the helpers in the network are paid, because BrightID it relies on a lot of like helper, basically people to help other people. That's how it works. So that's that token. That said, we really think that the BrightID community needs a chance to grow and to like fund itself through community efforts. And so yeah, I would keep your eye out for a BrightID community DAO launch with the BrightID community token. We're not ready to go public with the date, but keep your eye out for that. Yeah, like definitely keep in tune with Twitter and Discord so that you don't miss something like that. It's going to be an important event.
Cool. Thank you. So we're 40 minutes into the call. I don't know if anyone else has any other question. If there's not, we're just going to move into a connection party. So if you are not verified, you can get verified in this party. Or if you just want to connect, we're just going to reconnect. Okay. So any further questions? If there isn't, or if there's any final statement, I'm going to be closing the video now. So we can start the variety call, the variety, sorry, connection party. Anyone else? Any last thoughts? Nothing? Okay, cool. So thank you very much, everyone, for being here. Thank you very much for joining this AMA. We really want to be here to answer all the questions that you might have, and we'll talk different things about the crypto space every single week. So you're welcome to join. As Adam said, be aware of our Twitter account and our Discord server, and to see all the information that we're bringing, all the new developments that are happening, and every single new partner that joins, that will give you opportunities that are, well, worthwhile your time. So thank you very much once again. Please don't leave if you want to make connections. I'm just going to stop the recording now, and